Dear child. The house grew quiet, but your thoughts did not. You set your phone down. You replayed the conversation. You felt that old ache again, the one that comes when your heart whispers, "I knew this was going to hurt." Dear heart, you tried to explain it away at first. You told yourself you were being too sensitive, too cautious, too afraid. But something in you had tightened early. Something in you had gone still before the damage showed itself. And now you sit here with disappointment in your chest and that heavy question in your mind. Why did I ignore what I already felt? Beloved, this has not only made you sad, it has made you feel foolish. It has made you second-guess your own inner knowing. It has made you wonder if you can be trusted with your own life. You keep looking back at small moments you brushed past. The uneasy pause, the sentence that did not sit right, the pattern you noticed but did not want to name, the way your body went tense even while your mouth kept saying, "Maybe it is fine." Precious one, you are carrying more than pain tonight. You are carrying regret. And regret can speak so sharply when the room gets dark. It says, "You should have known better. You should have walked away sooner. You should have listened the first time." It keeps pressing on the bruise as if harshness could somehow heal it. My child, come closer to gentleness now. You do not need another voice accusing you while you are already hurting. Yes, there were signs. Yes, something in you stirred before the full sorrow arrived. Yes, I was trying to draw your attention with a quiet nudge, a holy discomfort, a check in your spirit that did not come to shame you but to protect you. But hear me well, my dear one. This moment is not for humiliation. It is for understanding. You did not ignore those inner cautions because you were stupid. You did not move past them because you loved danger. You did it for reasons that are painfully human. Sometimes you wanted peace so badly that you mistook silence for safety. Sometimes you hoped that if you stayed kind enough, careful enough, patient enough, the situation would soften on its own. Sometimes you were simply tired of being the one who notices the problem first. Tired of feeling like the difficult one. Tired of sounding cautious when everyone else seemed comfortable. Loved one, some part of you wanted to be wrong, and that is not weakness. That is the tenderness of a heart that still hoped for a better outcome. You did not want the friendship to be as fragile as it felt. You did not want the relationship to be as unsteady as it seemed. You did not want the offer, the agreement, the promise, the opportunity to carry hidden thorns. So you stayed near it a little longer than peace allowed. You told yourself to wait, to be fair, to keep giving it another chance. Dear one, many people do this when they are afraid of loss. They talk themselves out of caution because they do not want to lose connection, or appear difficult, or admit that something beautiful may not actually be safe. You are not strange for this. You are not broken for this. You are deeply human in it. And still, I want you to hear what this pain can teach without turning it into a sentence against yourself. Beloved, that inner stirring mattered. That heaviness in your chest mattered. That hesitation mattered. The questions you kept pushing down were not small. The discomfort you tried to dismiss was not meaningless. I was caring for you there. Not with thunder, not with fear, but with a quiet restraint that asked you to pause. Sometimes my care feels like peace. Sometimes it feels like unease. Not all discomfort means danger, but some of it is mercy trying to keep you from deeper sorrow. Sweet soul, I know this is where shame tries to enter. It wants to twist wisdom into self-hatred. It wants to turn one painful choice into a whole identity. It whispers, "This is who you are. This is what you do. You ruin things. You miss what matters." Do not agree with that voice. It does not tell the truth about you. A single misstep is not your name. A delayed response is not your identity. One season of ignoring caution does not mean you are destined to live disconnected from wisdom. Precious one, learning is not the same as failing. Waking up is not the same as being worthless. Seeing clearly now does not erase your dignity. It restores it. There is a difference between guilt that points and shame that buries. Healthy sorrow says, something here needs attention. Cruel shame says, you are beyond repair. I will never speak to you the way shame does. I do not crush the hurting to make them wise. I steady them. I uncover. I heal. My child, what happened may have cost you something. It may have cost peace. It may have cost time. It may have cost trust. It may have cost sleep, or confidence, or the simple ease you once carried around this person, this place, this decision. That cost is real. You do not need to pretend otherwise. The ache is honest. The disappointment is honest. Even the anger you feel at yourself or at what unfolded has truth inside it. But truth does not have to become cruelty. You can face what happened without becoming harsh with your own heart. Dear heart, look at how long you have been trying to earn safety by being agreeable. Look at how often you have overridden your own discomfort because you did not want to seem dramatic. Look at how quickly you have doubted yourself when something felt wrong. This is not about one moment only. This wound has older roots. Perhaps somewhere along the way you learned that your instincts were inconvenient, that your questions were too much, that your caution needed defending, that your inner no was less important than keeping things smooth for everyone else. So when that quiet warning came, you did what you had practiced. You explained it away. You softened it. You postponed it. You made room for everybody else except your own peace. Loved one, that pattern can change. Not by hating yourself for it, but by finally honoring what has been speaking inside you with quiet wisdom for a long time. I was not trying to frighten you when I stirred you. I was not trying to take joy from you. I was not trying to make your world smaller. I was trying to keep you whole. There are moments when the soul recognizes what the mind has not yet admitted. A subtle tightening, a reluctance you cannot fully explain, a sadness before the event, a sense of standing at a crossroads even while others call it simple. That place matters. That pause matters. That inward resistance may be the beginning of clarity. My dear one, do not despise the part of you that noticed early. You may feel angry with yourself now, but I want you to honor that there was wisdom there, buried perhaps, overridden perhaps, but present. This means something beautiful, even in the sorrow. It means you were not abandoned inside this. It means you were being guided, even if you could not yet follow with full courage. Beloved, it can be painful to realize you sensed more than you admitted. But that realization is also the beginning of restored trust in yourself. Not pride, not control, just a quieter knowing. I do not have to betray my own peace to keep something alive. This is important, because some of your suffering has come from believing that love requires self-abandonment, that being good requires overextending, that being patient requires staying long after clarity has arrived. But patience is not the same as denying what is true. Compassion is not the same as staying where harm keeps growing. Kindness is not the same as ignoring what keeps wounding you. Sweet soul, you can be tender and discerning. You can be loving and clear. You can care deeply and still step back when peace begins to drain away. This is not hardness. This is maturity. And I know there is another ache in you tonight. The ache that says, if only I had listened sooner, I could have spared myself this pain. That may be partly true, but do not stop there. Do not make that the whole story, because even here I can bring repair. Even here nothing is wasted simply because it was painful. Even here you are not beyond restoration because you learned late. Dear one, I can still bring wisdom from what cut you. I can still bring steadiness from what shook you. I can still teach your heart how to recognize peace without fear, how to honor caution without panic, how to step back without drowning in guilt. Not every lesson must come in the ideal moment to still become real. Sometimes understanding blooms after the bruise appears. Sometimes clarity arrives with tears in its hands. That does not make it lesser. It makes it earned through honesty. Precious one, you may feel embarrassed that you stayed too long. You may feel exposed that others saw what you would not say. You may feel frustrated that the outcome now seems obvious when it once felt confusing. That is often how pain works. It sharpens the outline afterward. What looked hazy before can feel painfully plain once the consequences arrive. So be careful not to judge your past self only with your present clarity. You know more now because you have walked through it. You understand more now because the hidden things have shown their face. Offer compassion to the version of you who was still hoping, still sorting, still trying to make sense of mixed signals and small alarms. Loved one, I do not turn away from you in these moments. I move closer. I come near the tender place where regret has been speaking too loudly, and I begin to quiet it with truth. You are teachable. You are recoverable. You are still worthy of care. You are still capable of wise steps. You are still held even while learning what you should no longer ignore. This matters deeply, because if you are not careful, you will make a vow from this pain that wounds you further. You may say, I will never open again. I will never believe again. I will never give anyone room again. I will never trust my own heart again. Dear heart, do not build your future out of frightened promises. Those vows may feel protective, but they often become another cage. There is a gentler way forward, not naivety, not denial, not rigid suspicion of everything. A gentler, wiser way. You can move through life with open eyes instead of clenched fists. You can notice early signals without becoming fearful of every unknown. You can pause without needing to explain your pause to everyone around you. You can honor unease without condemning yourself for having it. My child, this is where your peace begins to return. Not in pretending nothing happened, not in trying to rewrite the story, but in allowing truth to settle into you without panic. Yes, there was a warning. Yes, you stepped past it. Yes, pain followed. And now, yes, you are learning. Yes, you are being restored. Yes, you can become more whole through this without becoming harder. I know. Part of you wishes for a reset. Part of you wants to go back to that first uneasy moment and choose differently. But you live here now, in the present, where grace still works, where healing still begins, where wisdom is still offered to tender hearts. So stay here with me for a little while. Not in accusation, not in panic, just in truth. What did your peace notice? Where did your body tighten? What kindness in you was actually fear of disappointing someone? What delay in you was really grief about what honesty would cost? These are not questions to trap you. They are questions that make room for a more honest future. Beloved, the next time clarity comes softly, it may not look dramatic. It may be a simple reluctance that does not leave, a sentence that rings false, an invitation that leaves you heavy, a pattern that keeps pulling at your peace. You do not need a courtroom to justify stepping back. You do not need a collapse to validate your concern. You do not need everyone else to agree before you honor what is stirring in you. That is part of what this sorrow is teaching. Not to become suspicious of life, but to stop negotiating with what keeps troubling your spirit. My dear one, I want to free you from one more burden. The burden of believing that because you missed it once, you will always miss it. No. This pain is not proof that you are doomed to repeat it forever. It may become the very place where your discernment grows stronger, steadier, clearer, more settled in truth. What once came as a faint stirring may, in time, become something you honor sooner, not because you are scared, but because you are becoming more faithful to peace. Dear one, you are allowed to trust the quieter signals now. You are allowed to stop calling yourself difficult for having boundaries. You are allowed to disappoint someone instead of abandoning yourself. You are allowed to pause when something feels off, without dressing that pause in 1,000 explanations. This is how wholeness grows, not in noise, in honesty, in slowness, in the simple courage to stop overriding what has been warning you for your good. Precious one, There is no delight in me at your pain. When I tried to turn you gently, it was never to control you or deprive you. It was the care of one who could see what your longing was trying not to see. And even now I am not standing over you saying, "Look what you did." I am kneeling beside the wound saying, "Let me help you understand what happened here." That is the difference between love and condemnation. Condemnation exposes and then walks away. Love uncovers and stays present until healing can begin. Loved one, this can become a tender turning point in you. Not because suffering is lovely, but because honesty can be. Honesty about what you sensed. Honesty about why you ignored it. Honesty about what it cost. Honesty about what you need now. Maybe you need rest from over-explaining. Maybe you need distance from what has kept bruising you. Maybe you need to stop rehearsing how you could have saved the whole thing if you had just been better. Maybe you need to grieve that what you hoped for was not what it appeared to be. All of that is allowed. None of that pushes me away. Sweet soul, the future does not have to be ruled by this one regret. You will not always sit with this same sting. The sharp edge of it will soften. The lesson will remain, but the shame can leave. And when peace returns more fully, you will not need to keep revisiting the scene to punish yourself. You will simply know more. You will carry yourself differently. You will step with a little more honesty, a little more steadiness, a little less fear of displeasing others at the expense of your own soul. My child, that is already beginning. Even now, as you sit with the ache, something inside you is being made clearer. Something inside you is being gathered back from confusion. Something inside you is learning that a quiet warning is not your enemy. It is often care arriving early. So rest tonight without building a case against yourself. Rest without rewriting your worth around this sorrow. Rest without deciding that one painful chapter gets to name your whole life. You have learned something costly, yes, but costly does not mean hopeless. It does not mean ruined. It does not mean abandoned. Beloved, I will keep teaching you in ways that are gentle enough for your healing heart. I will keep steadying you when old regret tries to speak again. I will keep reminding you that wisdom grows best where shame is no longer in charge. There is quiet ahead for you, not perfect control, not a life with no hard choices, but quieter ground, cleaner knowing, a softer confidence that does not need to shout in order to be real. And when the memory rises again, when you think of that early stirring and all that followed, may you meet yourself with more mercy than before. May you remember that you were not trying to be reckless. You were trying to hold hope and safety at the same time. Now you are learning how to honor both with greater truth. Dear heart, the room can grow still now. The replaying does not need to keep going all night. The lesson has begun to settle. The shame does not need the final word. I remain near in this quiet place, not with accusation, but with steady care. And as your thoughts soften and your tired mind unclenches, let this be enough for now. You are being lovingly taught, not cast aside. You are being made wiser, not reduced. You are being held close even here, while the night grows calm around you. Amen. Dear family, it is a blessing to share God's word with you each day. We continue this mission with dedication and hope. If you would like to support and help us continue this work, you will find the support link in the description and in the comment box below. Thank you for being part of this prayer.